Hello, football fans. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Masks Off Football Podcast. We are so happy to be here coming to you live.
All right. So this is the Masks Off NFL podcast. So the main reason we're doing this podcast, it's kind of where our name came from, but I'll get into it in a second. So the main idea is most of these analysts around the NFL, they're either former NFL players or they're NFL analysts that have been there for years and they're kind of tenured there. Recently, we've noticed that they like to hide behind the big networks they work for, like NFL Network, CBS, ESPN, NBC, all those people, and they like to just say stupid shit sometimes. They just say stupid takes that they just to get a reaction out of people, and it's fucking stupid, and we're kind of sick and tired of it. So we're here just to mainly just stay as real as we possibly can with as little unbiased as possible. So who are we? So my name's Squigs. You call me Derek, it doesn't matter. Theo's gonna call me Big Country, so it don't matter. And I'm a KU alum. I'm also a Twitch streamer, and I'm a really big NFL fan. Just not a super fan, maybe a super fan. You don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we have another guy that's on the podcast. He is not here tonight. He can't make it. He'll introduce himself next week.
And I'm Theo Bischoff, a.k.a. the Fuck Prince of Narnia. How you doing? I am also a KU alum. That's where Derek and I met each other. I am a music teacher. I live out in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and I represent America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, all day, every day.
I like it. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, I'm a Chiefs fan too. We already knew that. All right. So mainly what we're going to be talking about, we're just going to be going along. We're going to be talking about stupid stuff that people, not stupid stuff, but stuff that people do throughout the week, actual news. We're going to be going and doing some fantasy talk, not this week, but we'll start that next week because the first week of fantasy is always a little
It's a little hit or miss.
Yeah, like you just don't know.
Yeah.
No one's the Christian McCaffreys of the world where you know what they're going to do at this stage of the season, especially if you're a fucking Washington football team running back. Who fucking knows what's going to happen there? So, all right. Would you like to start it off, Theo?
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in the NFL these days. So I think one of the bigger stories going on in the past week is the signing of Leonard Fournette to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Leonard Fournette is just another name on a very long list of offensive talent that's been added to that roster. Squigs, how do you think that the impact of Leonard Fournette is going to make on Tampa Bay in general and in terms of their playoff run?
All right. So how I feel about this, let's not get it wrong. Leonard Fournette, he's a good running back. Like we can both agree that he's maybe a top tier running back, so to speak, because running backs, they come and die quick. The problem with Leonard Fournette is he either can't stay healthy or he can't quit running his mouth long enough to stay on the field. Whether it's with his teammates, with the ref, with the coach, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that I don't give a damn. He has to prove it to us that he can stay on the field consistently and put up numbers. Let's just say Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, but they need a running game. No one is expecting Tom Brady to throw the ball for 5,000 yards this season. Leonard Fournette has to be a baller, we'll talk about it later, or the Bucs aren't going to be doing much. Let's just say that.
I agree with you. I don't think that the Jacksonville Jaguars cut Leonard Fournette because he was a bad running back. He can obviously play the game of football. He's shown that the past couple of seasons. My concern is that at the moment, he is not currently the starting running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That job still belongs to Ronald Jones. We'll see how that job changes throughout the years. Obviously, if Fournette starts showing out, then he will get more opportunities to carry the rock. I just have a hard time questioning how a 43-year-old quarterback and an injury-prone tight end who's taken a year off from the game of football are going to completely revolutionize this football team, even with the addition of Leonard Fournette and Shady McCoy. I just don't see it being a huge impact. I think it's a sexy signing, and people are going to talk about it, but I don't see it translating into checks in the W column.
Yeah, it looks good. It's one of those looks good on paper. But yeah. All right. So on to the something else that we noticed this week. Gardner Minshew, he is not going to allow tanking this season, which I love it so much. There's an article about him, and as we all know, the Jags are just letting everybody go right now. They traded Yannick Ngakoue. Leonard Fournette's gone, but like at the end of the day, like it's Gardner Minshew and a bunch of DJ Charks, Chris Conleys. I don't know what else. So he there was an article of him saying that he is basically not going to allow this team to tank. If you allow this team to tank, then why are you a football player? What does football mean to you at that point?
I completely agree. I don't think that that Gardner Minshew is going to let his team tank because, as he mentions, if the Jags finish with another signature 5 or 6 win season, like everybody I think is expecting them to, then that means Gardner Minshew's out of a job. That means head coach Doug Marrone is likely out of a job. And that means general manager Dave Caldwell is probably out of a job. So it's in their best interest to at least put forth their best effort this year. Some guys that Derek was talking about, some guys that he missed actually that maybe fell under the radar is Calais Campbell, who is signing with the Ravens out of Jacksonville. And then they're still facing repercussions from that from the Jalen Ramsey trade because their defense really still hasn't bounced back from losing Jalen Ramsey. But on the topic of tanking, go ahead.
The reason why I didn't mention them was mainly because the article was more recent than those two. So those were the icings on the cake, like the Yannick Ngakoue and Leonard Fournette. Those were the cherries on top compared to all the other shit that the Jags let go.
I agree. So while we're talking about the Jags tanking, and we don't really know where they're going to fall, so what spot they're shooting for, what spot is realistic for them, because as we said, there's been no games played yet, so it's hard to say. But I would like to tell you the Jaguars' 2021 draft picks as it stands right now. They have 2 first-round picks, theirs, and the one from the Rams with Jalen Ramsey. They have 2 second-round picks, theirs, and the ones from Minnesota with Yannick Ngakoue. They have a 3rd and then 2 fourth, again, one from the Ramsey trade. And then they have 2 fifths, one of them that was traded from Cleveland with the Ronnie Harrison trade. So the Jaguars have tons of draft capital coming up this April. And depending on where they fall, like we were saying, they could really reshape their roster over the next year. That being said, this year there's a lot of question marks up. Are they looking to next year? Are they looking for right now? I can definitely tell you that they're in a rebuilding stage, but that doesn't mean they're not going to go out there and compete.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they are in a rebuilding state. It's not. Everybody talks about it whenever you see teams that freaking you hear about it a lot in the NBA. We're not too familiar with the NBA, but you hear it a lot. Teams let go of all these players, and then next thing you know, they're rebuilding. They're going to tank to try and get freaking this person or that person. And I really don't think it ever really happens at least in the NFL. I don't think it actually happens, but I think there is a lot of talks about it. And like people always say, yeah, they're tanking, but you got to realize like they let go of all their good players. Like they're not going to be on par with what they were. So obviously they're not going to look as good. So I believe Minshew has the mindset. This fucking guy tried to break his hand in college because he transferred to East North Carolina or something like that. He transferred to some school, and they only allow what?
East North Carolina,
something like that. I don't fucking. But he literally there was 3 he wanted a red shirt because there was already 2 quarterbacks that redshirted or something like that. And so they wouldn't let him redshirt so he can get a 5th-year senior, 5th-year senior. He literally tried to break his own hand to get an injury a medical redshirt. Like this guy's a football guy. This guy, I respect him. So yeah,
you gotta respect him. And the numbers don't lie. I'm a big fan of numbers don't lie. And he, without a question, had a better rookie season than Offensive Rookie of the Year Kyler Murray and other top-tier draft pick Daniel Jones. So when you have a guy like that on your team, you expect him to come out and compete, especially a guy who was a late-round draft pick Nobody knew who Gardner Minshew was this time
Yeah.
last year. If you said you were, you either went to Washington State or you're a fucking liar.
It's one of the two. I feel that. Let's not talk about the fucking end of the year awards because that's another show. Fuck, that's another shit show in itself.
I agree.
All right, so you
we have
want
another
to?
huge, yeah, sure. We have another huge signing that we think is popping up on the radar. The Tennessee Titans just land the number 1 remaining free agent on the top 101 free agents board, and that is standout defensive lineman Jadeveon Clowney. Now, big country. How do you feel about Jadeveon Clowney heading over to the Tennessee Titans and competing with the rest of the AFC?
I love it. I honestly love it. I think I really like Jadeveon Clowney. I think he's an excellent football player. He does have problems with injuries. Like let's not dispute the fact that he's had last year he was dealing with an abdominal injury. I believe he was dealing with groin injuries as well for the past few years. But when he's on the field and he's healthy, like yes, when he was on the Texans, you had Whitney Merciless, Brian Cushing, J.J. Watt, but Jadeveon Clowney. But the fact that Jadeveon Clowney held his weight regardless. When J.J. Watt was injured and gone, Jadeveon Clowney still stepped up and fucking put in work. Like he's a force, man. Like regardless of what team he's on, he's going to be great. It's a great pickup by the Titans. He's going to get a lot of rest, I think, too, because obviously we know the Titans are a run-first offense. So I think they're going to be able to slow the ball down, which is good for him. So he's going to stay – he's not going to have as many reps on the field to get the potential injuries if the Titans are up. Let's say that. So I think Titans are a great fit for him. Great fit.
I agree. I think he was a great player for Seattle when he spent those couple months on the Seahawks. His numbers didn't really reflect the kind of impact that he had because when we look at pass rushers, we really judge pass rushers based off of their sack totals. And he didn't really have that many. But if you look at his effect in the run game, if you look at his effectiveness in terms of QB pressures and QB hits, Jadeveon Clowney is just as good, if not better, than anybody else in the NFL. So I think bringing him to the Tennessee Titans is going to revolutionize their defense, and it's going to change the culture of the Tennessee Titans defense. Kind of like an impact that Khalil Mack had when he signed with the Bears. I could see that kind of impact being made by Jadeveon.
Yeah. And let me tell you this right now. I had the Seattle's defense last year, and so I paid attention to him. I mean, obviously, we watched a lot of football. I believe Jadeveon Clowney had one pick six and one scoop and score. I believe he had 2 total defensive touchdowns last year, and that's with him being not healthy the full season with his abdominal injury. Like he's when he's on the field, he's insane. He's fucking insane. Kid's cracked.
You gotta know where he is on the field at all times, or else your offensive game plan is going to be in trouble for sure.
Yeah.
And if I could just paint a picture for you, I want you to picture that you're Drew Lock, and it's Monday Night Football, and you're opening the season at Mile High Stadium. This is your team now. You're not dealing with Joe Flacco anymore. You're coming out. You're feeling good. You had a good camp, a lot of good signings, feeling good about yourself, Drew Locky Lock. You go to the 50-yard line to do the coin toss at the beginning of the game. And out from the Tennessee Titans bench comes Derrick Henry and Jadeveon Clowney. Now, that is when you're informed that you're going to play a game of contact football against these gentlemen. If you are in your right mind at all, you shit your pants. I don't care who you are.
I shit my pants. 8 days a week, I fucking shit my pants.
Absolutely. I think there's most professional quarterbacks in the league would shit their pants if they saw that duo come out to flip the coin against them.
Jeez. I would. Yeah. Good luck, Deshaun.
Good luck. Real talk. So as we said, the NFL season is about to kick off. As we're filming this, we are about an hour and 15 minutes away from the Kansas City Chiefs kicking off against the Houston Texans. So we would like to take this time to officially make our division leader picks and our Super Bowl picks.
Yeah. All right.
So, big country. Let's start in the NFC, and we're going to start off in the NFC North. What do you have the NFC North looking like this year?
Speaking of this, I also have Robbie's picks. I had him message me, so I have those. But for me, for the NFC North, you know me. I think the Packers are still the superior team. I think the Lions are going to be the worst, or the Bears. I think the Bears is going. They still have to figure it out. They had one really good year with a really good defense, and then what happens when the offense is put into the situation where they need the offense to shine? They fucking slacked. So like I think the Bears have to figure their offense out. But I think the Lions might be a little bit worse than them. I don't think the Vikings are super good, as people say. I know a lot of people are predicting them to win the division. I'm not a really big fan of it. I think the Packers got it.
So in terms of the NFC North, my thinking is that the Vikings are going to be the division winners of the NFC North. I think they have a proven defense. I think they have enough weapons on offense to be a contender. I just think there's too many question marks across all the other teams in the NFC North. Mainly on offense, I'm saying for everybody else. The Packers specifically, they did not do anything to improve their offense, really. They're still throwing to Devontae Adams and who the fuck knows else. So I don't think the Packers are going to realistically be able to keep up with other contenders in the NFC or the top teams in the AFC, which they would be if they were really a threat. So I have the Vikings getting in the top spot, and then I could see the Packers maybe making a wild card push.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that too. Like I feel like the receiving core for the Packers is lackluster, but the fact is, man, they went 13-3 last year with that same receiving core. Like that's and when Aaron Rodgers is at the helm, I feel like he just elevates everybody. You know, just like the Russell Wilsons, the Tom Brady's of the world, they just elevate it. Peyton Manning was really good at it.
I'm with that. I totally agree. He made Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard look like household names. But
Right.
this is truly a game where if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
But maybe they're getting better. We don't know. It's a new season, baby.
Well said. Well said. All right. So
All right.
As far as the NFC South, I have the NFC South going to the Atlanta Falcons.
Sorry. We have Robbie's picks. Robbie's pick. Oh, we already know what it was. We already know. He said, and I quote, "The Bears 16-0, Mitch for MVP." We're gonna have to talk to him about it because we don't have bias free on this shows. But he'll figure it out. All right. So there's that.
Is that seriously what he picked?
He said the Bears 16-0. So, and his reasonings were, I have some basic picks, but I'll let it be noted the Vikings will suck this year, and Rodgers is playing for his job. So yeah. And then I replied, okay, so I see very unbiased NFC North picks, and everything else looks good. So,
all right,
starting strong. I mean, this is a guy that still wears a Johnny Manziel jersey, so let's not dispute the fact that he says some stupid shit sometimes.
God bless. We need to move on to the NFC South before I kill myself. So the NFC South I have going to the Atlanta Falcons. I think that they're a good offense. They have a solid core of receivers out there. I think the addition of Todd Gurley is going to be big for their run game because they did not have consistency at all at the running back position last year after Devontae Freeman got injured and released. I also think the Saints are a good team. They're too good not to mention in the playoff race. So I would have the division going to the Falcons and the Saints sneaking in as a wild card team.
I got the Saints. I got the Saints winning it. As long as Drew Brees is there, like he's shown that like no matter what, like he's still slinging the rock. He's still doing his thing. I just trust Drew Brees so much. Like him, Michael Thomas, fucking Emmanuel Sanders, Alvin Kamara. I think they're working on a deal with him right now. Like their defense is still pretty good. I don't know. I like it. I do like the Falcons though. I think the Bucks are going to be. Let's talk about. Let's clear the air now. We both agreed on this that the Bucks. We don't believe in the hype on the Bucks. We think they're still going to be mediocre. We still think that they're not a fucking 12-4 team just because you add two guys and then some free agent guys and like a running back, and like like you mentioned, we saw this happen with OBJ, and Jarvis Landry, I guess for that matter too. When it went to the Browns, they drafted Baker Mayfield. They fucking still sucked. They still went 6-10. So, we aren't a big. We're an anti-Bucks podcast right now. Let's just say that until they prove us wrong.
Let's say we're not anti-Bucks. Let's just say we're not buying the hype. There is so much hype around the Bucks right now, but
it's the Browns. It's literally the Browns of 2018. That's what it is. So yeah, okay, we're good. You got Saints, I got Saints, you got Falcons. Let's go to the next.
Yeah. I just want to make clear that I do think the Saints will be in the playoffs. They're probably my 5 seed.
Okay. It's so hard for me with playoffs with wild cards. There's so many good teams that I think can make wild card. Like I could probably say, like in the NFC North, I'd say Vikings would be my wild card. For the NFC South, I would probably say, honestly, the Panthers look good, but I don't think they're ready. But I do think the Falcons, the Bucks might be able to get that 7th seed.
I could see that.
That's where I'm at. So, all right, next division, where we at?
So we're talking NFC East right now. And I think that the NFC East is a pretty tricky division because they either have the top team in the NFC and the Super Bowl favorites, or the whole division top to bottom is complete dog shit, and a 9-7 team makes it into the playoffs. That being said, I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East championship, mainly for the fact that top to bottom, they're the most complete team in the division right now. The only team that could really contend with the Dallas Cowboys is the Philadelphia Eagles. And with Carson Wentz's injury history and the way that their receiving core looked last year and the way their defensive backs looked over the past couple years, I truly think this is the Cowboys' division to lose. Will they make it happen? We have to see. But if we're looking at the roster and the guys that they're bringing to the table, there's no way that you can't pick the Cowboys as the NFC East champions.
When you look at it, there's no other team as well rounded in that division as the Cowboys. I actually personally think the Cowboys are one of the most well rounded teams in the league. Their big stars are good. You got the Daks, the Jalen Smiths, the Zekes, the Amari Coopers, the Tanks. Your safeties are and your corners are,
defensive backs are young and developing right now.
Yeah. But, for the most part, you guys are one of the most rounded teams in the NFL for, as a core group of players. Your D-line's crazy. Your D-line's fucking, I think, the Cowboys, I don't think the Eagles, Giants, or Redskins will – well, sorry. Washington football teams, sorry, will make the playoffs. I just don't think they will. I think there's too many good teams in the NFC this year. The Eagles – I just don't like the Eagles. The Eagles, I've never I don't trust Carson Wentz. Can he stay healthy? Tell me he can stay healthy. Tell me he doesn't have a back spasm when someone poked him. Come on. I don't know. I can't. I'm sorry. Let's go. Cowboys.
I'm not fighting that. The NFC West, aka the best division in football, is probably the hardest to pick right now. I think in the NFC West, experience wins out. I think the Seattle Seahawks will take the divisional crown. And I think this might not be a popular opinion, but I think the 49ers are due for a regression this year. I think the loss of Emmanuel Sanders is going to be huge to their offense. They simply looked like a different team once they added Emmanuel Sanders. And now I don't think they have a true number one wide receiver on their team. So who's sneaking into the playoffs from the NFC West? Well, we have the Seahawks as the champions. And then I have the Los Angeles Rams getting their shit back together and getting back on form and sneaking in as the playoff. They're probably, honestly, I have the Rams taking my 7th seed with the Saints and then the Packers above them. So I could see the Rams making a playoff push. I mean, Aaron Donald is one of the premier defensive players in the league. He's probably the biggest single game record in the NFL still to this day.
I kind of agree with you. I think out of this division, I think the Cardinals are on the rise. The Niners are on the downward slope. I feel like the Rams, they could be They could be really good. The fact is that they still have everybody. Like the only people they really don't have is Todd Gurley. They got rid of Marcus Peters, Todd Gurley. But the receivers, Jared Goff, their coaches, like for the most part, are all the same. So I feel like now that they can game plan without relying on Todd Gurley, because let's be honest, like Todd Gurley was a fucking stud. Like how would you not give him the ball 25 times a game and then also throw it to him fucking 7 times a game? He was a workhorse, but like now that they have the offseason to actually game plan without having him, I think they do take that step up. I really do. I have Seahawks winning this division. I don't Seahawks like my Saints, dude. I don't count out Russell Wilson. I don't count out Drew Brees. I can't count out Russell Wilson. Like there's no way you can. They got my favorite defensive player in the league, Jamal Adams. Like that. I mean, he's my IDP too. He's my, but no, but man, I think the Seahawks win it. The Rams could get the wild card. I think the Rams take the 7th seed wild card. Maybe even the 6th. And I think the West has a wild card. The North and the South have a wild card. I think there's one from each division, and then the East just has one team.
Yeah, classic NFC East. I mean, somebody just needs to get their shit together into December, into January to make it happen.
Someone needs to call them and be like, "Hey, yeah, remember we're playing football."
Yeah,
you know, like oh no, hey, yeah, I know it's 12 degrees out, but we're still playing football.
Yeah, January football is an intense thing in the NFC East. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Let's go to the AFC North. So the AFC North, I think, is a very intriguing division, as per usual. Talk about a boomer bust division, AFC North for sure. I have the Steelers climbing back onto the top of the AFC North and winning the division. Big Ben coming back. I think most of their problems came from shoddy quarterback play last year. Big Ben saying he's feeling better than ever. He's throwing without pain for the first time in years. They also have a roster with some great young talent on offense. They have a fantastically underrated defense. I think the Steelers come together and win the AFC North this year. But it seems like you can't talk about AFC North football these days anymore without at least mentioning the Baltimore Ravens. And the Baltimore Ravens, they're probably a lock for my 5 spot. If the Steelers win the division, then the Ravens are definitely – I don't see them not making the playoffs this year. I think they're too good. They have too many people, but they're not good enough to win the division.
Yeah, I think the same. I honestly think the Steelers will win the division as well when Big Ben's there. He's going to elevate Juju. He's going to elevate James Conner in the passing game. Like I don't really like the Ravens. Like the Ravens are going to be good, but the Ravens were awkward. Like in the way they did things last year. Like prove it to me that this is that this can work. That's what I want to see from the Ravens this year. Prove it to me that you can do this.
They've proven they can do it. I think what you're looking for is that they could do it over time.
That's what I'm saying. Like the consistency. Like prove that the consistency will work. Sure. Because Lamar Jackson's not going to be able to take as many hits as he did every year. Like he's just not going to be able to get fucking popped all the time. Yeah, he's good at being elusive, which is great, and like mad props to you, man. But we've seen time and time again the longevity of these quarterbacks that just doesn't last. Like either they learn how to pass the ball or they
fall into irrelevancy.
Yeah,
there's too many names we could throw out that have been like a running major quarterback and have just fallen out of contention in the league.
Yeah, sweet. All right, I think that's it. Let's go to the next one.
The AFC South. The AFC South, I think, might be the hardest division to pick. They're probably the wild card of divisions, which they usually are. I personally have the Tennessee Titans winning the AFC South. They have an established run game. They have an efficient passer with Ryan Tannehill. And as we mentioned earlier, the signing of Jadeveon Clowney is going to revolutionize the Tennessee Titans defense and pull them to the AFC South championship.
Yeah. This one's hard for me. Before I say what I need to say, I'm going to let you guys know Robbie's pick because I keep forgetting to say that. Robbie's pick for the NFC South was the Saints. For the West was the Seahawks. And for the East was them boys. And then for the North was the Ravens, AFC North.
Sure.
So AFC South. This one was hard for me. I was actually thinking about it. I really, I want to say Texans. I really do. This one is the division that it's like, ask me this question in week 8. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yep.
It's like I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So for right now, I'm gonna say the Texans, but it very well could be the Colts. It very well could be the Titans. The Jags are probably the least of the favorites, just because I mean, they're rebuilding. Like for the most part, like they're not worried about winning divisions. They're worried about um, developing right now. I think that's the big thing with them is developing players and stuff. So right now I'm gonna say Texans.
Sure, I could see that. As far as the AFC East goes, I think the AFC East is pretty much wide open, other than the Jets, of course. But with the leaving of Tom Brady from New England, I think we could see any of those three teams win the division. But I'm going with the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East championship. Once again, that's a solid young defense. Players like Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, don't Edmonds. They don't get nearly enough love as they should. And
Trey
I think
White is so underrated. I'm just gonna say that right now. Trey White's one of the best, like one of the best corners in the league.
absolutely. And then I think Josh Allen takes a big step forward this year with further development, and then the addition of Stephon Diggs to that offense. Devin Singletary taking over as the lead dog at running back. I like the Bills winning the East this year. And then also a little bit of a sexy pick for you. I have the Miami Dolphins making the playoffs as a wild card team. I think they've done some interesting things this offseason. We're going to get to that a little bit later. But I have the top of the AFC East looking like the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
That's fair. So Robbie's pick for the AFC South was the Colts. I forgot to mention it again. So for the AFC East, I really like the fact that Cam Newton's out with the Patriots. I know we talk about it and how one person can't change a team, but but
That's what you're saying.
But no. I'm just kidding. But the truth of the matter is that the Patriots, their culture is just completely different from everybody else in the league. They're an anomaly compared to everybody else. They do so many things the Patriots way that, like, Cam Newton coming in, Bill Belichick can do some shit with Cam Newton, man. Bill Belichick can change Cam Newton and elevate him so much. I want to say the Patriots. This one's really hard. This division just seems so hard for me. I like the Bills. I like the Patriots. I think the Dolphins are going to be really good as well. I think the Dolphins do. I personally think the Dolphins get a wild card as well. I will say that. Possibly Bills, Patriots, and Dolphins. Maybe all three. Three AFC East teams get into the fucking playoffs.
Whoa.
With that third seed. Or with that third extra playoff game.
The 7th seed, you mean, right?
Yeah, the 7th seed, but the third extra playoff game. Like maybe. I think it's a toss-up. I think it's a really good division. Not a really good division in comparison to the NFL, but in comparison to that division, I think
Let's just say you want to watch the AFC East divisional games this year. That's going to be some good football to watch.
I think so, yes.
And let me jump on to kind of what you were saying about
Except for the bullshit Bills-Jets game Thursday night they do every year. That's going to be a shit show. I'm not watching that.
Disregard the New York Jets for sure. I'm on that train. I wanted to speak on the Patriots a little bit. I totally agree with you that the Patriot way will guide them to at least regular season success, if not more. Bill Belichick, probably one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen. And that defense, boy, I'll tell you. The defense has lost some players on there, but the main ones that you love to see, like Stephon Gilmore, they're still hanging around there. So you gotta watch out for the Patriots defense still.
I think the McCourty brothers are still there too.
I know some people opted out. So Dante Hightower is still on the scene, but he won't be playing this year. So okay. I think one of the McCourtys or both of them might have been some that opted out. I know Stephon Gilmore is playing.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's hard to say. If I had to pick right now, I think it's the I just you knew how hyped I was about I wanted Cam Newton to go to the Patriots. I really did. Even though I don't like the Patriots, I still don't like the Patriots. I wanted Cam Newton to go to the Patriots because I think Cam Newton did not get a fair enough shot in the NFL. I think the Panthers very poorly handled his injury, and the doctors let him come back when they should have just said, no, don't, you fucking can't. You're not playing right now. Get healthy. So I'm gonna say the Patriots. I don't usually say it often, but I'm gonna say the Patriots.
Fair enough. I mean, compared to the rest of the division, that's a fair choice. I'm with that. Let's talk AFC.
Robbie's pick is the Bills, by the way.
Okay, sure. Thank God. We're talking the AFC West.
This is quick and easy. Let's just get it out the way.
Well, I wouldn't say quick and easy. Let's talk a little bit about the AFC West. So,
okay.
I think that the Chiefs come away with the division. I feel pretty comfortable making that choice. That being said, I'm really intrigued to see what the Chiefs' divisional opponents, namely the Broncos and the Raiders, I guess all of them really don't have to. The Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers, they are having off seasons like they know that they're going to have to play the Chiefs at least twice a year. They're hoping for maybe 3 times a year if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I think that is a really intriguing division. I think the Chiefs still crush them and take the division title. I got to shout out the Denver Broncos, though. I think the Denver Broncos are going to be a playoff team, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think they had a stellar offseason.
I think the same thing. I think the Chiefs win the division. Fun fact, Andy Reid, since coming to the Chiefs, 27-3 in divisional games.
Jesus.
He does not lose against the divisional opponents. He is it's guaranteed 6-0 for the most part. For the most part of the year, it's a guaranteed 6-0. And what we know, I would say on average for most divisions, you need to win 10 games to win your division. On average, if you space it across the NFL. So you just need to win 4 other games outside of your division. That's
doable.
Yeah. I like the Broncos as well. I really like the Broncos too. I really like Drew Lock. I love the young. The thing about the Broncos that I like a lot is that not only are they really young, but they showed so much promise. They showed so much promise going in the season last year. Like Drew Lock looked like a stud. Cortland Sutton's looking really good. Bradley Chubb, I know he got injured and he didn't play much, but his previous season, oh my gosh, I know Von Miller had that injury, but I don't know. I like the Broncos. I think they could sneak in a wild card as well. Maybe who knows? So yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs though.
Of course. Let's talk Super Bowl. So, I always say every single year that if the Cowboys don't make it into the playoffs, which, sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't, whatever. There's only one happy team at the end of the year, you know what I mean? If the Cowboys aren't in the playoffs anymore, then my hope and wish is always that the best team wins the Super Bowl. The most complete team earns their wins, no bullshit, and they come out on top in the championship game.
Yeah.
And last year, if you watched the NFL playoffs, you could not convince me that the Kansas City Chiefs were not the best team in the league.
Sorry.
The offense, everybody talks about the offense, and everybody jerks their little dicks to the offense. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's just where all the focus is. But I think players like Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu, even I'm going to throw this in for you, a little Derek Nottie action for you.
Mike Pennell. Dude, when Mike Pennell was on the field, our run game was unstoppable. Charvarius Ward, one of the best corner. He has improved so much from year to year. Charvarius Ward, just saying. All right. So I think at the moment, if we're looking on these teams, I don't think the Chiefs have done anything to show me that they've gotten worse. They've locked down all their pretty boys, all their good players. I see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl this year again, repeat champions, and I see them going up against the Seattle Seahawks with all the commotion in the NFC. That's what it seems like to me, is that the NFC is always you never know who's going to be in the AFC. It's one of the same 4 guys every single year. Yeah. So I think we're going to see another one of those same 4 guys in the AFC, and we're going to see Russell Wilson return to the Super Bowl to play against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I would love to say I can disagree with you, but that's my same pick. Kansas City over Seattle. It very well could be Saints Seattle in the fucking NFC Championship. Seattle, like that's a great game in itself, but like I think Seattle goes to the championship and then Kansas City wins it. Kansas City wins it all again. I think I don't want to say they're like, oh, we're a repeat and stuff like that, but like the fact is that, like you said, like I've never seen a more successful offseason in my life. I've never seen one. Like, how do you sign a $500 million contract and then extend your best defensive player? I think Chris Jones is our best defensive player. Your head coach and your GM and the best tight end in the league. Like, how do you what?
Who is that?
Oh. Oh man. That's who it is. Fucking Travis Kelce, baby.
I think the moral of the story is that the Chiefs are banging the Monopoly man, and that motherfucker's just printing out money for fun.
There's something happening. I don't know, man, but it's fucking glorious. It's glorious.
God bless. All right, so that's our playoff picks. That's our Super Bowl picks. We're talking dark horses at this point. So beginning of the season, as we said, no one really knows what's going on as per usual. There's a lot of other things that are up in the air due to COVID. So we're going to make our dark horse picks and talk about why we think these teams are going to be sneaky good this year. So Big Country, how about you? You go ahead first. With your
I don't know what to tell you, but my dark horse pick is the Miami Dolphins. I liked them last year. I really liked them last year towards the second half of the season. They really showed it around. Brian Flores is how can you not respect someone like Brian Flores? Like, whenever you've seen the Dolphins play, that motherfucker, whether it was fourth quarter and 2 minutes left in the game and they were down by 20, that motherfucker still showed as much heart and much passion to the game as anybody I've ever seen. Like, I think they're going to be great. They added a lot of good pieces. They added Matt Breida, Jordan Howard at running back. They've added Lynn Bowden. I guess there was talks about him in the Raiders. I guess there were some issues with him. Like, he was negative or something like that, and like he was just being kind of an asshole. But I don't know. It was something crazy. There's the Raiders, they make stupid decisions and try to fucking make it up by saying something stupid. Then they got Devontae Parker, Preston Williams, and then our boy Jakeem Grant. Like, Preston Williams, like we both saw it. Like, we saw like highlights every week of him making some ridiculous catch, ridiculous play, but then he ended up getting injured, which kind of sucked. So their tight ends, Gesicki, Shaheen. I don't know. Their line got good too, man. Like how can you not be impressed? How can you not be impressed? Like, this is a scary, sneaky team. That's why it's my dark horse. That they're going to be a team that you don't want to. Like, it's not a bye week when you play them. You know, you want to take them a little bit more serious. I don't know, man. The Dolphins look good to me.
I'm totally with you, Squiggles. Let me throw on a couple extra names onto that list you were saying there.
Oh, I was letting you. I could add the names, but I was letting you get your action in there.
Oh, we can wait on my dark horse team. Add those other names. There's a couple of defensive names and one backup offensive player that I'm thinking of.
Okay, so some of the defensive players that they added Shaq Lawson, Emmanuel Ogba, Raquan Davis. I believe Raquan Davis. Was he on the I think he was on the football team. I can't remember. Devon Godchow. That's a really good stability of a line. Like, it's really good. And then we got Kyle Van Noy, Landon Roberts, Kamu Kruger-Hill, Jerome Baker. Like, come on, dude. And then at safeties, in the backfield, you have Xavier Howard. I know you're talking about Byron Jones. That's your boy. But, like, Byron Jones, like, that's one of the hottest pickups of the year. I mean, of the offseason. Like, early pickups, like, he was one of the hotter free safeties, like, because it took forever for the Cowboys to, like, decide what they were going to do with them. Like, the Cowboys, I don't know, man. Oh, man. And then you said there's an offensive player that I missed?
Well, I mean, not for this season. I'm just talking about for the future of Miami Dolphins. Maybe as soon as
Tua?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Tua. I think Tua's going to be great. I think he had the most potential coming out of this draft. Like he was the biggest raw talent. Um, I think because like he played really well in Alabama and he had the hip injury, which is unfortunate. But like, I feel like coming from Alabama, having the injury, like being on top of the world and then just going down and like not knowing what's going to happen, because this was the same injury that killed Bo Jackson's career in the NFL. Like it was the same exact injury. Um, like I think he has so much to prove and he just wants to learn and take it all in. I think it's gonna be great.
So my dark horse team is the Denver Broncos. And the reason I think the Denver Broncos are a good dark horse, because as we mentioned earlier, they showed a lot of promise. Drew Lock was looking really good. Cortland Sutton looks like a true wide receiver, a true top wide receiver on that team. I think they had a fantastic offseason. They re-signed two of their better players, Justin Simmons, one of the maybe the most underrated safety in the league.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just get really like Justin Simmons is so good. He's one of those players that does get recognition as well. He's not a big name player. He's not on a big name team, so he doesn't get the recognition. If he was on this team in 2015, he would be probably named one of the best safeties in the league, verbally. But the fact that he's not on the really good Miami Dolphins, not Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos team, he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. Sorry.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. So as long as if you interrupt me, just make it some shit that's correct. Because if you interrupt me to start talking some bullshit, that's when we're going to start having problems. You feel me?
I feel you.
They also had some solid free agent signings as well. AJ Bouye is now a Denver Bronco. That's a solid cornerback right there. Maybe not one of the best in the league or as good as he was in Jacksonville, but goddamn, you feel confident when Bouye is on the field. They also signed the most underrated player in the NFL of the last decade, interior defensive lineman Jarrell Casey. The Broncos traded the Titans for Jarrell Casey, and all the Broncos gave up to get this player was a 7th-round pick, which is the most unbelievable shit that I've ever heard in my entire life. That's a long snapper draft pick right there. Do you understand me? Like,
Did Bill Belichick like sign a 1-day contract with the Broncos?
what?
Did Bill Belichick sign a 1-day contract with the Broncos?
Hustle that deal. Could be. I don't. Jeez. Maybe he was salty about the Titans beating them in that playoff game, so he was like, "And Jarrell Casey, go." All right. Continuing on with this fantastic offseason on the Denver offense, they drafted. Everybody's talking about Jerry Jeudy. He's definitely going to be a great addition to that team. I'm not arguing that. They also drafted KJ Hamler, another sleeper wide receiver from that draft. And then they got center Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU. So he was just spending his time, no big deal, blocking for one of the top quarterback seasons that we've seen in NCAA history. Mm-hmm. The Denver Broncos also signed running back Melvin Gordon to create a very interesting running back room with Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay, and Royce Freeman. I would take that as my running back group. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. The Broncos also made a very sneaky signing that I don't think gets talked a lot or talked enough about in the Graham Glasgow signing out of Glasgow had just played a couple of years in Detroit. He was a solid right tackle. I think the addition of Cushenberry and Glasgow, that's going to be good things for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but you're right. You're right. I mean, I once again, these are dark horses. Like, we're not saying that they're going to be fucking, top notch, amazing, but like they're definitely on the rise. Both of these teams are on the rise.
Let me put it this way: my dark horse team last year was the Buffalo Bills, and they made playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think they got eliminated wild card weekend against the Texans, right?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Or is that
yes.
the divisional round?
No. Divisional round was that 20 or nothing fucking shit show.
All right. Yeah. So I would say the fact that they made the playoffs, they made the wild card round, I would call that a successful dark horse season.
Oh, so yeah.
We're saying these teams wild card, divisional round. We're not saying these are our playoff true contenders by any means.
All right. Cool. All right, so let's get to it. So our final segment of the night, we're going to be doing this is going to be a reoccurring segment we do every week. These are what we call burnt takes. And we take and it's kind of like our name, Masks Off. Like we take these fucking stupid ass takes and we just kind of roast them and we burn them and they get burnt. So like that's basically what this is. So Theo, what is your burnt take of the week?
So my burnt take of the week is James Jones's Super Bowl pick. Like we were doing, this is the time where all the analysts from every organization that you know about, the ones you don't give a shit about, everybody's making their Super Bowl pick. James Jones picked his Super Bowl to be the Green Bay Packers beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as we talked about, neither of those teams are bad. They're both realistic Super Bowl contenders. I'm fine with that. But to say that the Packers are going to be the top team in the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl, that's questionable by itself. Highly questionable by itself. What's even more questionable is them matching up with all the firepower that the Kansas City Chiefs have and coming out on top.
Yeah.
I truly don't see that happening. As we know, James Jones himself was a Packer. This Super Bowl pick reeks of this was my team bias. That's all I'm smelling on this. I'm even going to go so far to say is Packers Chiefs is an incredibly unlikely Super Bowl matchup. Matter of fact, I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to say this is a impossible Super Bowl matchup. I'm going to stake my reputation on it. I can't see that happening.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't like it either. I don't agree with it either. My burnt take is, once again, for some reason, you get a few free agents. You get a fucking tight end that hasn't played a full season for the past 5 years. You get a fucking hothead running back. And somehow Bruce Arians is the coach of the year. One of the top prediction for coach of the year, the most votes. I don't get it. I don't know why the Bucks are getting so much recognition for something. It's like the Browns. They're getting so much recognition for stuff they haven't even done yet. Like how? I don't get it. I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, whatever. I don't care. This is a stupid idea. Bruce Arians. I think at the end of the year, somebody like Brian Flores should earn the pick of Coach of the Year, but won't get it. I know. I'm serious. Like we've already mentioned it. We don't talk about the awards at the end of the year because they're all bullshit. They're all biasry. Well, how come Christian McCaffrey was an Offensive Player of the Year? What the fuck? How come he was an MVP? What the fuck? I feel like he did way more for his team. He was the most valuable player on his team and in the NFL, I think, personally. Like he did so much. But we got 16 weeks to talk, or 17 weeks to talk about that.
True.
So, yeah, that's my burn take. It's fucking stupid. I don't understand people's logic. So, yeah.
I'm with that.
All right. So, we have made it. The first episode, Mask Off. This is we're gonna call this. This is our season predictions. We're gonna be doing some news and stuff. We're gonna do fantasy. We're gonna do a lot of fantasy next week. The fact is that we don't want to run too far over our time that we went, so we are not doing fantasy this week. But yeah, this is it. We're gonna have some fun with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Anything else, Theo?
No, always strive and prosper, brother. You know
That's
where
right.
I'm at.
That's right.
Let's see some football, man.
Let's go Chiefs. Let's go boys.
Itching for a smacking, baby. Let's see it.
Let's have some good NFL season. And if you liked the podcast, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell and be notified whenever we go live. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be doing this once a week. We're talking about timing. We might figure out some other things. But I feel like this is gonna be like Thursdays. We might upload it Friday, maybe upload it Thursday night. We'll see. When we get more consistent, obviously you'll know, but we'll let you know. So yeah, until then, I think that's it. And I think until then, we'll see y'all later.